Hi, my name's Tony. Some people call me Rusty, and this is Mojo. We're going to go on a journey up the Queensland coast, hopefully make it up to Whitsunday Islands. My channel is Passing Wind, and this series, the 2025 series, is going to be called Bow Movements. Anyway, hope you like it. Please like, subscribe and share. Hi, my name's Tony Miller, and I'm the owner of the channel Passing Wind. I'm getting ready to start on my next journey up the Coral Coast and getting ready, doing lots of boat work and all that sort of stuff. But my next series is going to be called Bow Movements, and that's the front of the boat, the bow, and yes, it moves. Not to be confused with any kind of toilet humour. Anyway, so a few questions. This season, I would like to try and get my subscriptions up, and the reason for that is I'm not monetizing it, but I would like to ask for discounts from marine companies because I need to replace electronics, sails, dinghy. Like, it's just the usual thing that you have to do with boats, is replace stuff when it gets old. My sails have got a couple of seasons left in them, but they're pretty worn, and my electronics just don't work anymore. So if I can get the subscriptions up, I can get a bit of a discount, and that'll make me pretty happy. So Dad, I don't make money from this channel, but I might be able to get discounts. So if you subscribe, I'm not making any money, but I'm building my followers, which companies will look at and say, yeah, okay, we'll give you a bit of a discount. So if you could like, subscribe, and share, that'd be great. That'd help me out a lot. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the trip. I'm leaving in 2 weeks, and I would like to put out a movie every Tuesday. So I look forward to that. I'm really getting excited. Been working on the boat a fair bit, which you'll see in the clips, especially in this first one. Anyway, looking forward to new adventures. Alright, so I was going to sail out the seaway out there for a bit of a whale watching trip and shake out the sails a bit, but I've got a drama. It's about 15 knots and white caps and stuff, but my front sail is not furling out, and I eventually got it furl out, and now I can't get it in. So I've got my tail tucked between my legs, and I am going back in. I'll drop the mainsail, putt in. I've got a sneaking suspicion I've got to pull that front sail down, service the bits and pieces, spray a bit of slimy stuff on it, and then get back into business. As you can see at the front, I can't quite get it in. That's as far as it'll go in. So yeah, this will be interesting when I have to sort it out. Anyway, that was a very short sail. Hey, check this out. I lowered the sails to play around with my head sail. It's giving me a bit of grief furling in and out, and I think I might have sorted, but I'm doing 3.5 knots now, and all I'm sailing with is the rigging. My wind's pushing against, going downwind, fair enough, but 3.5 knots, that's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to flop around just with the head sail and see if I can sort it out, then go in and take my daughter to dance. Anyway, what a great Sunday. Well, I found the problem. There's a problem at the bottom of the furler. The little cord had come out and wrapped around a few times, and so I had to pull the head sail down old school way, like pull it down, and it made me think of, if you've got the hank-on head sails and you know you got to do that every time, that sucks. Mate, the furler is so good when it works. Anyway, I'm crawling back in the marina with tail between the legs, and I'll do a few repairs. You can have a look at the head sail. Yes, I got a bit of work ahead of me, and lucky people I were going to go out with today didn't come, which was lucky because it wouldn't have been such a great day. All right. Okay, so we're at the front, we're at the furler here, and the line that comes out, the strap that comes out, had come out and wrapped around a few times, and that was the drama. But so I've disconnected the jib halyard. I'm going to give it all a spray and give it, you know, make sure it's all looking good, and then I'll put it all back together However, I don't think it's blowing about 20 knots now. Forecast for another 25 knots, but I can't put the sail up while it's blowing that, so might come back later tonight when the wind drops off and finish it up then. All right. Well, howdy. So for cool boat bits, we're going to look at the standing rigging. And my boat, the Nolix 30, has an amazing setup. It blows me away. So there she is. Now there's my mast. If I walk back, you'll be able to actually see that it's kind of like raked a little bit. So it's swept back a little bit. And the reason it's done that is because when you're going upwind, it flattens the sail out a bit more, so you can sail with more sail and stronger wind rather than reefing, rather than pulling down the mainsail a little bit and putting less sail up. So it's a racing design, and also you've got these spreaders here that are swept back as well, and that's done for a few reasons. So the first thing is it's a fractional rig. So see how at the top there, the front sail or the head stay joins the mast about 7/8 of the way up, and so other boats like this one over here, ocean sort of boats, it goes all the way to the top. So that's a fractional rig, and it's really good for racers. They get a bit more out of it, because what you can do is if you want to flatten your sail, you can pull that rear stay down, you can actually tighten it and pull it down and bend the mast a little bit, and the mast bends out a little bit, and that's the pivot point up there. So the top bends down, this bends out just a tiny bit, and you can flatten the sail, you can go faster in harder wind, that sort of thing, rather than have to pull the sail down. Anyway, it's a fractional rig, super cool. Let's have a look at what else is really cool about the rigging on this boat. So here we've got one chain plate. So we've got 3 side stays, shrouds. I should call them shrouds, but anyway, people call them stays. So I've got 3 all coming back, and you can see they're all aft of the mast. They're all aft of the mast. So the spreaders up there are swept back, and they all come down to one point, which is neat and tidy. And it also puts the, what do they call it? There's a special name for it, but the balance point of the boat. So where the sails push the hardest there, and where the centerboard should go. So it's a little bit more forward probably than most boats because of this rig, but what it allows is for really tight racing sailing where you can get the most out of it, which is bloody awesome. And I didn't mention that aft stay goes down, and you can see a pulley system there. So if I yank on that, I can actually reef the top of the sail down back a little bit, and it'll bow the front out a little bit. And what that'll do is it'll flatten the whole sail, as long as I do a few adjustments here and there and whatever, and I can get a little bit more power out of it in heavier wind mainly, which means I can go harder in stronger wind, which is bloody awesome. And now the downside of having this swept back spreaders and the shrouds coming back a little bit further is that when you're sailing and the wind's straight behind you going forward, it doesn't sail real well going directly with the wind, and it sort of wobbles around a bit. And but hey, can't have everything. But look, for me, this is an amazing setup. I'm really happy with how this boat was designed in the 1980s. And what they did back then is there was a belief that in New Zealand especially, that racers should be good at cruising as well. They should be able to do both, and this boat does that. So I can go coastal hopping. I've got a massive mast and a massive boom. I've got 3 shrouds. Like, the strength in it will get me through coastal hopping, no worries. Whereas if this was purely a racing boat, everything would be light, saving on weight, which could mean you know, susceptible to breakages. And whereas this boat, it's old enough to have that sort of ethos that, hey, let's make it so you can race and you can cruise. So very happy. This boat just keeps on surprising me. I really, really like it.